I give you a couple of words before and after that joint. Because they got renunciation in that bad boy, but to renounce, that's that joint. I could dig it.
Mine has to renounce.
Copy that. What word is before it and or after it?
That's how mine come in. I actually have it on the digital. So when I type it in there,
Gotcha.
that's what come up.
Well, let us know what it states.
Yeah,
I will look up renunciation. I'll look up renunciation, but
when I put that in, that's what it said, to renounce, and I can read it.
All right, go ahead, read it. But I do want to find it because that's interesting. That
to renounce, to give up a right. For example, an executor may renounce the right of administering the estate of the testator, a widow the right to administer to her intestate husband estate. Now, the second sense is what I was speaking about. There are some rights which a person cannot renounce, as for example, to plead the act of limitation before a person can become a citizen of the United States, he must renounce all titles of nobility via naturalization to repudiate. Okay, there's a word. Can you find that? repudiate.
repudiate. R-E-P-U.
Yes.
There it is. Two. Now under here it has to repudiate. Ain't that a trip? Check that out. So to renounce might be under the R's. Okay, I might have overlooked it. But to repudiate means to repudiate a right is to express in sufficient manner a determination not to accept it when it is offered. To repudiate, meaning that's all you have to do by repudiation, which is essentially saying, I'm not this, I'm really this. You could call that repudiation by declaration, affidavit, etc., so on and so forth, but you better be correct. Because if you repudiate yourself as a foreigner here, you still are a U.S. citizen. So you didn't do anything. Instead of saying you from Germany, you say you from Scotland and shit, right? Instead of saying you from Africa, you saying you from Morocco and Spain or some shit, right?
So there's definitely a difference, and that's what it states in the second meaning.
It's dried out. Oh, I mean, if I'm gonna correct you, would.
Representative. No. Damn.
I mean,
missed something.
Yeah, so we have to
REP.
Either 1 hour or 2 hours.
Mineral. You.
Yeah, renunciation. They just got renunciation there.
Yeah, renunciation, right? That's all I saw. I was still looking for it. But anyway, the act of giving up a right, renunciation. So we give up the right, like I stated earlier, and we're going to keep getting it till we get it, and this is good that we're going through these terms. Etymology and knowing the definitions of what they mean in law and in context is vital. So without this code book, you can't decipher the code called the Constitution or any other thing of contracting ability, because your ability is stunted because you don't know the word. You don't want to know the word. So we got to want to know the word. So again, get the Constitution. That's one. Two.
Back up some.
Yeah.
Back up some. To renounce should be like go, keep going.
I see it. I passed it
right
over.
There.
That's why I was asking, what's the word?
Muted.
Newell. Oh, but you got a different version, right? Okay. So.
Yeah, mine is digital. I can type it in.
Okay, so there you go. To give up a right. For example, an executive. Yeah, exactly what you stated. Okay, cool. I just overlooked it. My bad. And I was in the T's. So
Hello, can anybody hear me?
yeah. We got you, bruh.
All right, let me mute myself because I'm enjoying this.
What's that, brother?
I want to mute myself because I'm really listening to what you guys say.
Copy that, brother. Copy that. Do your thing. Mute yourself and feel free to chime in. You can feel free to chime in. Our goal is clarity. That's it. That's the goal right here. We ain't got no other mission than clarity. We don't have no other ulterior motives, no none of that, just clarity. Clarity, and if somebody else out there in YouTube land or anybody else who want to give a clear, concise what we're talking about, please feel free to chime in the comments or whatever you want to do. And it's not our duty to, we ain't debating with nobody, but definitely we would like presidents of nations and all of that stuff to chime in. But if you just some dude off the street, you might want to hold your comment until you do some research. But definitely we need to talk to those people.
Thank you very much.
Oh no, man, do your thing. Please chime in on everything. We want to get clarity. We are striving to make it clear to everybody. So please give us your questions. Give us how you take it as, and then we'll strive to make it clear. If you got clear how you, the best way that you could describe it, then that's cool, to make sure you got the understanding. That's what we're here for, to make sure you have the understanding, right? Everybody. I don't care if you're 2 years old. What was that, brother? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, tribe up. I'm with you 100%.
Appreciate you. Where you at on the map?
Mississippi, Clarksdale.
Oh, man, my hometown, man. That's where I was raised a little bit, man. My grandma and all them, man. They trip on high air up in this joint, man. You know what I'm saying?
What part of Mississippi? What part?
Oh, man, I was like, from a baby to about, I want to say around Jackson, around that area. But not in the major city. We was out in the boonies.
All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Homeboy.
What's that?
I said, homeboy.
Right. So definitely, man, I need to get back there because we got land there. So there's some unfinished business I got there, but definitely got to take care of that. There was a lot of relocation from that parts next to the woods in the 50s. In the 60s, when they started creating these project housings in these major cities, and they was taking the land from our people, giving it to the immigrants coming in to farm or not to farm, as King would say, right?
That's
You
right.
remember
That's
those
like
times? What's that?
That's the way Dr. King passed out the message, but a lot of people didn't catch that. See?
Right, but that was happening. I didn't know what was going on because I'm like, when we had got caught up in it, I'm about like 10 or 11 at the time. You know what I'm saying? And, I didn't understand why my grandma was upset, just totally upset, like lost her mind. I was losing my mind, like everything we know, why we got to go. Like, man, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. Absolutely. So definitely.
I am enjoying this.
Right. So I got some paybacks. It's some paybacks coming. It's a personal journey right here, bro. You hear me? It's personal right here. So I'm just making my journey, making everybody else aware. And if you feel the same, then let's link arms. Let's go take care of business. So let's go take care of some business. Copy that. So yeah, so to renounce, man. Go ahead, Jay. What was you saying? Renounce. Appreciate that comment.
To give up a right, for example, an executor may renounce the right of administering the estate of the testator, a widow the right to administer to her intestate husband's estate. The second sense, there are some rights which a person cannot renounce, as for example, to plead the act of limitation. Before a person can become a citizen of the United States, he must renounce all titles of nobility by naturalization to repudiate.
Yep. So we never became citizens of the United States and knew about the contract, and that brings us with the birth certificate. Again, on the last class, we talked about, in previous other classes, we talked about the birth certificate and that being a contract in which we stated, well, now I'll ask this question today since there's other people here. Let's ask the question, can anyone hold you liable to a contract you never signed and one you never authorized anyone to create on your behalf?
No.
Can anyone hold you legally obligated to such a contract?
No.
Well, we got a couple of no's. What was that?
No.
I said no.
No.
I guess everybody in agreement. Man, that's what's up. That is what's up. That sounds good. So no one can hold you liable to a contract you never knew existed, one you never authorized anybody to create on your behalf, and one you never signed. So the question is this now. Since no one can hold you to any documentation like that, here's the $1 million question. At what point in time did you ask your mother and father before you came to Earth to create a birth certificate for you? Answer, please. Can I have an answer from everybody in YouTube land, on this call, on tribeup? You can't do it. So, can you ever be a citizen of the United States? Yes or no?
No.
No.
And check this out.
No.
Since you can never be a citizen of the United States, it should make, could you ever, since you can't be a citizen of the United States, could you ever vote in a politics?
Nope.
Nope, you're
Could
not
you
a part
ever
of-
participate in their governmental activity at all?
Nope.
None whatsoever. No.
No,
Right?
we only been given an illusion that we was a part of.
Right?
Yes,
So
right.
which brings us to the term Indian. I'm coming back to it. In the states, Indian tribe, a separate and distinct community or body of the Aboriginal Indian race of men and women found in the United States. Indian means the Aborigines of this country, so-called, with a period. Check this out. Two makes perfect sense because in general, we have no political rights in the United States. Is that correct? Right or wrong?
Yeah, right.
It says we cannot vote in their general elections for officers, and we can't hold any offices in their shit. Is that right or wrong?
That's right.
Because we already agreed to it before we read it, didn't we?
Yep.
Check that out. So the spirit and the language of the law is lining up with the definition. It's the trifecta. We got proton, neutron, and electron. Everything else is gravy, but the basic building blocks is right there. That's the core component that make up all of this stuff. Can y'all dig it?
Yep.
It says in New York, though, they are considered as citizens, not as aliens. Now, those the Native Americans. Those some of the ones they lumped into the system. And it says owing allegiance to the who? Who they owe allegiance to? Who is saying?
We the
Come on,
people.
Nah, don't, man. Allegiance to who? Don't say we the people. It says
No,
they gave up
Indian.
their right to be we the people.
Ooh,
It says they gave it up. It says in New York are considered as what?
As citizens and not as aliens.
Owing allegiance to who?
Allegiance to the government and entitled to its protection. Oh, that means government. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. So that means those are them people who they was talking about in here. So number 5 says Indians not taxed don't come under their law, right?
Yeah.
But then it says the families of Indians, such as those ones in New York, who have renounced their tribal rule, they gave it up, who wanted to be citizens under the state or territorial laws, exercise the rights of what? What does it say right there, sister? Citizens.
Oh.
Not us. Them. I don't know who us is. I'm I'm not a part of that. So I'm going to stay on my side. Y'all can have y'all side on that one. But it don't mean us. It just means certain people in New York gave up their rights to become citizens. Correct? It does state that, does it not? It says in New York, they are considered as citizens. It states that right there, right? So in order to become a citizen, what do you must do, Jay? What you got to do to be a citizen? What you must do, Chief? Go ahead and give me that. What you got to do?
You gotta be counted, enumerated.
You got to be counted, right? So it says in New York, though. It doesn't say everywhere on the planet or everywhere in America, just in this place called New York, correct? You may have heard of Seneca Village, right? Better known as Central Park. Might know it that way. They didn't understand fully what they was doing, but they did it, and then the government moved them up out of there. And they did it so they could move them up out of there. But that is what happened, and that's what happened, and Central Park exists today. So they owed their allegiance to the government and entitled to its protection, supposedly. But we all know how that roll out, being reclassified as colored. What y'all doing? Colored, etc. And not as aliens. So, and then it states after that, but it was ruled that, listen carefully, the Cherokee Nation in Georgia, on the other hand, contradictory to the citizens, it was ruled that the Cherokee Nation in Georgia was a distinct community. So now there's an example of people giving up their stuff. But here's another nation of our people who didn't give it up, who still are us today. Some people might call them Kusa, but whatever, we all the same people. Can't be a multitude, can only be one, even though if they called us a multitude of names. And trust me, we got a multitude of names we've been called. Over 10,000 and counting so far. Everything from Blackfoot and Cherokee to my nigga. Right, just saying. I know this is a family show, but that was funny. I think that was funny. Rude, eminent domain. Eminent domain. Right, so eminent domain, that's how they lost their joint. Absolutely. Man. So, but the Cherokee Nation on the flip side of the coin is distinct, meaning we come under the distinct community, which is under this definition of Indians, which Indian tribe that states a separate and what's the famous word right there, y'all?
Distinct communities.
Distinct community, right? We got the distinct community right there. And oops. Right? So we don't come in the Georgia joint. We come under the distinct community. I mean the New York joint. We come under that Georgia type joint, right? Georgia. Ain't that where you from, Chief? Georgia. Right? Ain't the Chief still on the line? Where you at, Chief? The chiefnoyamina leave us. No, she didn't. She right there. Where you at, Chief? She's from Georgia, y'all.
You know I'm in Georgia, Kota.
Oh, you in Georgia too?
Yes,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Y'all in Georgia.
I'm from Georgia.
Right?
Yes.
And Cherokee in your blood, ain't it? So to speak. Absolutely.
Yes.
And you see right there, sister, says the people, right, the people in Georgia is a distinct community. That comes under this Indian tribe, which is a separate and distinct community or body of the Aboriginal peoples in America, I'm going to say. And the United States, everywhere. Shit.
In Peoplestown.
Peoplestown, absolutely in Peoplestown.
Yes.
Get all specific with it. So that's the realities right there. And that's a distinct and separate community. But we got to make sure we ain't giving our stuff away by wanting to be citizens and commerce and all. Because it all ain't the same. I would never call anything I touch a corporation, for example. Because if you do, you just gave up your rights to just do what you want to do. And now you got to go by their rules and regulations if you call your business a corporation. Can't even do it. So that makes you a U.S. citizen all day, tonight, and tomorrow. You can't even play with it. You can't even remote control that joint. Wireless action.
That is called
miles away from that.
That's
Right?
called doing contract.
Yeah, that's a contract. As soon as you use their terms, you fall under their regulations.
So we
Can't
got
use
to
none of their.
retrain ourselves for
Absolutely, that's what
battle.
we're doing, and that's what we're doing. We have to retrain all the words, and I stated this to a lot of people for a long time. I've said you got to study the words, and that's going to give you the laws. It's going to give you the understanding of the laws that you are to read. Because if you don't know the definition of any word given used in any contract, and you read it out of context, you're the one in the wrong. So when you get a contract, what you should be asking for, let's say you get a mortgage contract, for example. How many people asking for the dictionary for the mortgage contract? I want to see what every word mean in this mortgage contract. Rue said, is traffic in this dictionary? No, traffic was never a thing in this dictionary. Maybe trafficking, like human trafficking, but I don't think so. I don't think it was a thing. I think traffic came way later. Statutory stuff, I do believe. But we'll check it out. But definitely, with that being stated, since we're a separate and distinct community and it's all about the words we choose to use, so when we choose to use such words as residents, corporations, etc., so on and so forth, you run a risk of falling into their jurisdiction because the first part is juris, the last part is diction. Diction meaning dictio, the words you choose to use. Juris, by what words you choose to use, that's the law that you fall under. Hence the term juris. What's juris mean? And what does diction mean? Put them both together, you got jurisdiction. You also got jurisprudence. So again, juris is separate from diction, just like juris is separate from prudence. So what is juris? What is diction? What is prudence? You feel me? You gotta, that's Latin right there. So you gotta be proficient in that language, and then you can understand Latin terms when you see them. If you see Germanic terms, you gotta start going to that and look how they use those terms. And then when you come to law terms, you got to look at that and see what that's doing. And then when you go to medical, it might be the same word, but you better look up the definition because it may mean something different. And when you go to the art world and you want to do art, might be the same word, but it's something different. You go in the commerce world, you say the same word might be different. Let's call it value. Let's say that word is value, and I just say value. When I say value, what do y'all think I mean? When I say value, say the value of a painting. What am I talking about? Show you what I mean. Let's do a live experiment. The value of a painting. Chime in. Come on. Give me your answer. What am I talking about when I say the value of a painting?
The cost, the commerce of it.
The commerce of it. Okay, that's one. That's one. That's one answer. Okay, the commerce of it, or the value as in commerce. Okay, the value of a painting. And Knowledge Bill, just I want to interject, Knowledge Bill stated jurist means one well versed in the science of law. The term usually applies to students and practitioners of law. Jurist. Now look up jurist minus the T. Juris. Knowledge Bill, tell us what juris minus the T. But that is what a jurist is, and that is what most of these people are, jurists. And when you get called as a jurist, you are not well versed in the science of the law. Trust me, every jury is stacked chock full of people who don't know crap about the law. Rest assured that stuff. So since that's the case, wow. You can never get a fair shake in America because you let me know 13 people that's well versed in the science of the law. Oh, anybody's jury trial ever. Oh my goodness gracious. Truth is, Knowledge Bill, he says he don't see it in there. Okay, we will have to research jurist. Juris. But anyway, we're going to go to that, but let's finish this up. So, what was that? Nope, Bouviers. Okay. So, that the jurisdiction of a thing, I guess we might want to look it up now because that's what we still on. Juris. Did you look up on here or in the law dictionary? Sui juris, jurisprudence, juris. Sui juris, one of legal age and capacity. See jurist. Okay, same demo. Sui juris, jurist is that, and we'll go to the legal dictionary. Let's see if we can go juris. Juris, juris, as in sui juris and juris, everything. What is juris? So juris, there we go. Juris must be a thing. So, Derek, I see something in the free dictionary. I'm right with you, Derek. Knowledge build law, right? It's the law dictionary. Law dictionary right here. We're using the law dictionary by Farlex. It's called the free dictionary by Farlex, where they give you the dictionary, the source, medical dictionary, legal dictionary is the tab we're under, financial dictionary, etc., so on and so forth. Great for all the dictions that you may want to use. This gives you the juris to do it. Right. Boom. Boo. Yow. Check that out. That's using the word correctly. Ha 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 ha. I was in the oh no, it's not in the constitutional one. My bad, knowledge bill. It is not in the constitutional one. Jurisprudence would be in that one. But we're just talking about the main term juris, what it means. So we're just sidetracking. But thank you for that, and thank you for jurist, because that's some enlightening stuff. How many people of any trial do you think is a science practitioner of the law that may rest on any jury? Certainly, if you was to have a jury of your peers, that would be you'd have to scour all of America to find those people, I would say. Don't you think? I'm just saying, like, you into it like that. Wow. The average guy, person ain't into it like that. And you could probably disqualify everyone coming up to the bat based on the definition. Just hold a sign with the definition, be like, if this don't apply to you, please move on, right? Be more like that. And you probably would never have to go to court because they would never find anybody who fit the description who is of your exact peer, meaning the Aborigine of America that know this stuff, that's a science of it, that's a practitioner of it, that would be an oxymoron. But anyway, a jurist, though, is a phrase that serves as the root. Root. See the root. The what? The rizu. It's the root of it. For diverse terms and phrases dealing with the law. So it's all about language. Understand. See, I'm one of those scientific dudes, but I don't practice. I'm in the law. I enforce. That's what I do. That's what I like to do. Should love to do what you got to do. It's our right to do it. So, duty. But a phrase that serves as the root for diverse terms, which diverse a multitude of terms, and phrases dealing with the law, as in all contracts, as in all schools of thought, as in all schools, as in all arts and sciences and disciplines. For example, jurisdiction. Oh, there's a good one, because the discipline in one field of science ain't necessarily, like earth science, may not be the same discipline as used in physical science, which may be different discipline than, let's say, used in mathematics, which is also considered a part of science, which is different than the language you would use in botany, which also can be said part of science. So even though they're using the same words, they're using them in different contexts and definitions, hence diction. So now you got jurisdiction. So which language you speak brings on the jurisprudence or the law of that language, or makes you a jurist in that language. Are we clear? According to West's Encyclopedia of American Law, edition 2, copyright 2008, the Gale Group, all rights reserved. That's the site. Can y'all dig it? There it says, look at the Wikipedia term. I will not look at the Wikipedia term. Derek, appreciate you for saying that, but we do not need to sully our brains with such things as Wikipedia. I don't advocate Wikipedia under any circumstance. I don't advise anybody to do Wikipedia. Not when we talking truth. Yeah, you can do Wikipedia on your own time. I do it on my own time just as entertainment, but I ain't gonna go live with no Wikipedia promoting that junk. So yeah, do what you do with Wikipedia, just don't bring it here. So shame on you, Derek, for suggesting that. Shame on Derek for Wikipedia. Boo. So the rules of the game is no Wikipedia, no Wikipedia, no nothing. I know I always say it's something crazy, man. Look, you can't. Anybody can add to Wikipedia. I hope y'all know you could go and put some stuff in Wikipedia as saying something, and you too can fool the rest of the world if you want to go there. I never use it. I act like it don't exist, so that's where I'm at with Wikipedia. Go out your way not to use it, please. But definitely, so hopefully in understanding jurisdiction, so when you look up diction, what does diction mean? What is diction? Let's look up diction, D-I-C-T-I-O-N, right? Oops, diction. Diction, right? So diction, also found in Dictionary Thesauruses, diction. Burton's Legal Thesaurus, diction. Well, it's got diction up there. I guess we might want to look at Dictionary Thesaurus and my favorite, Wikipedia, that we shall not use. We shall not use them. Diction. We shall use choice and use of words in speech or writing. Degree of clarity and distinctness of pronunciation in speech or singing. Enunciation. Diction. Now that's getting into some sciences of the language and the type of language, hence the juris part. Now you put them together, you got jurisdiction. And based on your knowledge of jurisdiction or the language you choose to use or to call yourself, brings that law down upon you. So if you call yourself black, meaning that's your jurisdiction you chose to use because you called yourself black, your diction said black, your juris is now black. So now black come down on your ass and you get to be put in jail and treated like crap, just like African American, people of color, colored people, Negroes, and anybody else that ain't got a mama. You feel me? Can y'all dig it? We clear on that? Or are things kind of fuzzy? Get some clarity? So by what we choose to call ourselves or our entities or whatever you choose to say, that's going to bring that law on you. That's why it's careful. We got to be careful when we in this arena and you talking, saying too much of the wrong thing. I will distance myself because that ain't correct. You're going to have some other shit come down on you and you ain't going to be prepared for it even though I told you so. I know how to move, like they said in Boondocks. I know how to move when I see P coming. So when I see the P coming, I'm move out the way. Now, if you want to get all drenched in it, that's on you, but I'm going to move. So just letting y'all know. This is some real stuff, and I don't hang around the amateur like that. I don't, because everybody got to learn it so we can all be on the same team. And if you ain't ready to be on the team, you just ain't ready, coach. Just ain't ready yet. You know what I'm saying? That ain't saying you can't practice to get ready, to beef yourself up, to get your intellects on. But hey, this is the learning right here. So we're here as students, so we're gonna all be students right now. So the diction gives the juris. Can you dig it? The words you speak bring the law. So, since people don't get jurisdiction, hopefully I clearly made it super clear what jurisdiction is. So if I'm talking American, if I'm talking Nahuatl, something like that, you talking Germanic language, we talking two different dictions, hence two different jurisdictions, two different laws. Copy that. So I don't use their terms and conditions and words and none of that, unless we both got a clear, complete, mutual understanding of what they mean, and everything you write to them should have a definitions page, so they not taking anything out of context. I gave you those two for free. Them free two good ones. Free two good ones. All this stuff free, but just saying. Figure speech, y'all. But true. So, with that being stated, our jurisdiction, what we choose to call ourselves, is vital. So if you choose to call yourself and consider yourself to be one of the families of the people who renounce their tribal rule, I'm going to say don't think like that, because you personally never did it. Correct? Has anybody here officially said, I am not, I repeat, I am not an Aborigine of this land? Anybody on this line right now think that they are not an Aborigine of this land? Good. I take it everybody here feel they Aborigine. So, since ain't none of us ever gave up or renounced who we are as a people, ever, then this state control. Oh man, we got an unhappy camper in the building. Apologize for the noise, guys. Little tight. So definitely, since none of us renounced who we are at any time, formally or otherwise, hopefully you guys haven't. And if you have, you can repudiate that renunciation and everything can be right. Just some things that need to be done. A little dancing never hurts anybody. So, but since for the most part we never did that, then that thing, that birth certificate and all that was thrown on you and you grew up into it. So they created it before you had a chance to know what it is. And the law term is called free, informed, prior consent. We never had, or some people like to say, full disclosure. I like to go with the law term, free, informed, prior consent. We never have free, informed, prior consent of this birth certificate item or the social security card item and the driver's license item. And those items led the way to other items that you may have been a party to, you know, not knowing, unwilling, unknowing party to some fraud that was happening. Can you dig it? Since we're never taught these things, and we're taught the exact opposite, we're taught to embrace the fraud, to recreate the fraud. Anonymous says either you think or you know. Copy that. You think you know or you know you know. We got to know we know. But since we never signed up for that, all of those contracts and engagements or performances done on the behalf of those contracts are null and void. Doesn't take away from the fact that they created fraud upon you. But now that you know, there's a problem. What do you choose to do now that you know? Do you still continue to participate in fraud once you know? Or do you do something to change your situation now that you know? Just asking. Just a question you might want to ask yourself. I don't need an answer on that one. Not that y'all are very talkative on this call anyway, but definitely y'all can chime in. I love to chime in. I see they learning, man. It's like this is unnatural. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I got a lot of jokes, guys.
Hey, Sifu, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate you.
Unmuted.
I love Chief. Chief, I love you.
Your mom.
My man, I appreciate y'all. Copy that. We're going to make everybody law gurus because the law governs all events. It governs all contracts. And everything you want to do on planet Earth involves some type of paperwork. That paperwork called a contract. Period. Man. So, you feel me? So, and they always say ignorance of the law is no excuse. So guess what? Ain't nobody got no excuses. They tell you that in court. Well, you want to wait till you go to court and be all fucked up to hear it, or do you just want to hear it right now and be like, hey, y'all, ignorance of the law is no excuse, so let's love it, let's embrace it, and that's what we doing here today. And I love y'all for that. I really do, for real, because y'all here. Y'all here, bro.
Hear me right now. So now they can hear me testing. But yeah, one thing, you know, when we talk about the law, I want people to understand that he's living it. He's living it because I know under the YouTube and we coming out, it looks the same as everybody else, nothing too different. What I talk, I actually live it as well, and he actually living the stuff he's talking. So he's not just talking, and me neither. And I know that's what a lot of people used to, and it's hard for people to see anything otherwise. But you know, once you get to know us, once you get to track the track record, you know what I'm saying, and watch us grow, watch us produce the things we're producing. Everything will all make sense to you in a minute. Put it like that. But he lived this stuff, so that's why I feel he's good commodity for the community. Cause you know who else to talk about than the person that's living it. I do got a question though. Big up Joe
Yeah, yeah.
47. I do got a question though. Now this is a little out of I guess out of my league, but I'm just curious. Like when a person says that they have a nation, and somebody,
Yes.
let's say somebody contact me, they say, hey man, I wanna do a show on Tribe Up, and I wanna uh, uh I want you to help me with my nation. Now, what's some of the things that some of the documents and some of the things that I can ask them to verify that they are who they say they are?
Good question. I'm gonna say any nation worth its weight in gold is gonna have their constitution on hand.
Okay.
You can't be a nation if you ain't got no set of anything to base how stuff is going to get done on. The whole purpose of leadership ain't to be a totalitarian government. It ain't to be you all powerful, whatever you say go, and you can just make it up as you go along. Does
Right.
that make sense? Yes or no?
Right.
I mean, that ain't a nation that's going to last for long. So just because you say nation don't mean you do a nation. So
What's the
nation it
Constitution?
requires you to have a council. So we're going to go how a nation state must have a chief and a co-chief. The chief got to be a woman. Number one, chief got to be woman. Period. Your mama bring you into this world. Your mama can't. Well, she could probably take you out too if mama good enough. But definitely, mama bring you into this. She ain't gonna take you out because you're a baby. But definitely, she'll tighten you up. She will correct you when you get too cocky. So since it's women that create all men, right or wrong?
Right.
Copy that.
Both.
So the women hold the title of rulership. Understand?
Right.
According to our ancient laws that's inscribed in the pyramids here, that's inscribed on paper, that's in the Library of Congress, it's all over the daggone place. But definitely, with that being stated, that is America. So here's our laws and the requirement to be an Aboriginal American nation state. The original peoples, the Mississippian culture, and all of these other names and titles that these foreigners gave us, such as Blackfoot, Delaware, Cherokee, Choctaw, blah, 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 blah. There's a billion names. I ain't going to go into all of them. All of those titles mean nothing. But to be a nation, you need to have a woman as the head and a co-chief. So chief and co-chief, if you want to call it that. Inca or Grand Inca and Inca, however you want to call it. Every nation state should have a constitution. They should have a council. It could be 5 people, it could be whatever the people is, but a people that hold different parts within the nation to
Structure.
move the nation forward.
Pretty much a structure. They need a
If they
proper
don't
structure.
have infrastructure, man, if you ain't got that, all you got is you talking a whole bunch of people saying,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that ain't
Thank
no daggone
you.
nation.
Thank you. That's one of the man.
So there needs to be
Man.
some documentation on your nation. Is the documentation, who do you get the documentation from? Well, in proper nation, since you are your own government, you're supposed to make it up. And if it's and it's supposed to be within the law. So if all of those things are not met, you can't even be taken seriously.
Right. Right.
So there's a lot of people saying nation, they got a little flag, a little seal. Where their constitution?
Right. Where your constitution,
really
where
the
your
head?
structure at, where your right.
Thank you.
That's what I'm. That's
How
what.
y'all
That's
take
exactly what I
man?
was getting at. Because
Come on, come on.
I talk
So
about this
if you
stuff.
got that,
I talk about
so
this
if you
stuff,
got that,
but I talk
yeah,
about it in a business sense. But but
the
it's the
same
same.
thing.
It's the
Similar,
same thing.
similar,
It's the
not
same
same
thing.
thing.
My
Similar,
language is just or similar.
similar,
My language is just a
similar.
little bit off. But it's the same thing as pretty much building a corporation. You need your proper structure and or your cabinet. And if you want other countries to take you serious, you're gonna need that structure in place. And that's what I've been talking about for a very long time. And now it feels good that somebody, actually, can lawfully clarify the stuff I've been saying because I haven't been saying it, in the way that, um, in the way that I know by the law. I've been saying it in the
Right?
business sense.
No, I get you, and it's correct. I mean, you're correct. You can't have a business, a company, or organization of any kind. Let's go organization. Let's forget business. Let's just say organization. How about organization? Can we
Okay.
generalize it in general organization terms? The whole term of organization means an organized body of something, correct?
Right.
And you can't have no organization if you ain't got a plan or a blueprint, correct?
Correct.
So if you ain't got no plan and no blueprint, how you gonna be organization? Can you be, or you just talking stuff?
You just talking stuff.
And how many people out there talking stuff? I
Like
can name all of them.
95%.
Everybody on YouTube
Yeah.
talking stuff. Because it's the stuff talking era. It's the battle of words. Ain't nobody really doing. Where they constitution at? Okay, you got a tribe. You from these people, you from that. There's some real people putting in work though. But
Yeah.
they ain't on YouTube. Why? Because they putting in work. Some putting in work, and sometimes on YouTube, you got Chief Warhorse putting in work. She ain't got time to be making videos every damn day when she putting in work. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got time to make videos if I'm putting in work and meeting with these people, meeting with that people, getting these people out of it. Man, come on. 24/7 around this joint. Ain't getting no sleep like that.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
So I ain't got time for that joint. Ain't got time for. I got people to witness my actions. I mean, I don't know what nobody else doing, but as most of you on this call, some of you on this call, seen the work, because I'm working with y'all every day, going day in, day out.
That's right.
Non-stop. Overcoming hurdles and obstacles. Bringing solutions to problems and let's saying, hey, let's go for it.
Right.
And you dig it. That's what I'm doing. So I ain't got time to be doing all the other stuff, man. I ain't got time. I ain't got Dane Calloway time like that. I ain't got nobody supporting me. Shit. I mean, I got people supporting me. I ain't gonna say it like that, but it ain't people support me just out in the general population of people giving support. I've asked for support a few times, but I don't make that the topic of my joint. Since I've been doing this class, I might have asked for support about maybe 30 or 40 times in 4 years. So definitely all donations are valuable and will go to a good cause. Okay, with that being said, it ain't about no daggone donations and that sort of thing, but it is about support in a mental and intellectual sense. It is about that support. It's about a physical support too. Because so what, we got a shitload of land. If you ain't got no people and all your people jump ship to go to another damn ship, who's there to crew man our ship? You
To
feel
work
me?
the land,
Yeah.
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 Thank you.
Your nation or your
Man.
corporation is as good as its workforce.
Indeed.
Absolutely. So to speak, definitely so to speak. So we need our nation states, our people to come back home and
Yes.
to work the land, because they ain't never lost it. You want to buy something that's already yours. That's crazy as fuck. That's just telling me, Kota, why don't you come to my house, break in, and then I'll buy my stuff back from you. And I'm like, that's cool. I could do that. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate y'all for saying that I could come in, rob you, and then still stay in your house, and then you buy everything from me. So basically, I'll just claim your house and charge you to use everything inside your own home. If that makes you feel better, I can bill it to you. Would y'all
Hmm.
like me to bill y'all?
Right, right. And
No,
so,
oh y'all, yeah, I got a right. That somebody sound like taking it to me. Man, I send you a bill for $23 million right now. Hold on for a second. What's your email address? Right.
so,
Just saying.
Hmm.
so those of you who's, those of you who's trying to start your own, what I'm saying, there's some information for you. And those of you who already started or whatever, now you got some more information. But you know now you got some people out here trying to reach out to you, trying to reach out for you, and what I'm saying, and to help each other, because we all we got, you know
You
and
gotta stay plugged in.
right. And I know, yeah, we all we got. This is it. So
Absolutely.
either you gonna work with what you got, or you gonna try
Absolutely.
to
So
devour the people for the pennies that's left over, that they giving us, you know
absolutely.
And
and
excuse me, I just would like
Yeah.
to say this to everybody. I really appreciate everybody that came on the live, because this was not something that our Sifu was trying to do. He was on a low key and he didn't intend to do any of this. So I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. Now, he's all right. But we do want support in areas like they said. Please understand, we're all on a mission,
yeah,
and that mission is our people.
yeah.
Peace.
Did you want to talk about uh d- the tools and stuff that you guys getting down there in People's Town?
No, I want Coda to finish his live class.
Oh, okay,
well,
okay.
well, in
You know what I
concluding, I guess
mean?
we can wrap it
I
up at
don't
this
have
point.
anything to
We can start to
finish
wrap
this
it up. I'm sorry,
class.
sister. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just want to finish this class, and because he's not used to really being interrupted a lot. I mean, I'm gonna set the standards for the class if you don't mind.
Oh, go for it,
Um,
sister.
but Ty Data, every time that you're cut off, it kind of throws him off a little, and I appreciate it if we just don't even interrupt. Just go ahead and kick it back on. Keep it rolling.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was gonna try to do, but it seemed like he wanted some dialect, so I was
Oh,
trying
it's
to,
all good. No, he can roll for hours.
because he was like, it's quiet, and it's quiet, so I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
how
Yeah,
it
no,
he
yeah,
just
is.
give me
wants
some
some
good dialogue.
feedback.
No, I appreciate that.
He
No,
just
I'm
wants some
saying I definitely
feedback.
appreciate
That's
that.
all.
Right, and that's what I
He
was
like
trying
to
to get
kick
him
it.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah, yeah.
appreciate the
We
dialogue.
appreciate your dialogue and your
But
question,
she
but
was
I was
talking
just
about
saying,
like letting us know when you got kicked
yeah,
offline. Yeah, that part
yeah,
we don't necessarily
yeah,
need to hear, right? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's what she was saying, not the dialogue part, because definitely with the
Yeah, no,
dialogue
you
part, we
wonderful with
need
the
that.
dialogue.
Yeah,
I
we
love
want that.
that.
But we don't need to be like, okay, we just got kicked off the air on the other, you know what I'm saying? That part could be like, all right, let me just do what I got to do to get back on that side of the house. That's that
Right,
technical
Oh, okay,
right,
difficulty.
okay,
right,
okay.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just gonna keep rolling.
Peace.
Yeah, I
Peace, y'all.
appreciate you, sister. So Chief Noyamina, she the chief on the show. That's my chief right there. So, we respect her as chief. So what chief say, go. So I'm co-chief. That's all I'm doing. Mama sent me to do some work. That's all y'all getting. Y'all getting the son. Y'all ain't even got the mama yet. Oh my gosh. Y'all get that. It's a whole nother ball game. Gloves all be off. Cause what you gonna do? Tell a 100-year-old woman like go screw you? Nah, you ain't gonna about to do that. You ain't about to do that, bruh. And that will not happen on my watch. So I come through the phone on you. Straighten you out real quick, then you apologize, we move forward. All right. Anywho, but definitely just to finish up real quick, then Chief, you go ahead and tell everybody People's Town. But definitely that's why we're doing it, so we just don't get any old body on the land, right? We don't want any old body on the land. We don't want that, because what we doing on the land is better than any old body probably got. Just saying, because everybody ain't got their own community. That's what they don't got. They got living in somebody else's community. You feel me? It's a difference. It's just a fundamental difference between living in somebody else's city as opposed to being in your own joint.
Mhm.
All you,
Man, I wonder what that feel
right?
like.
Well, you might be able to find out
Mhm.
if you stick around, because we got the land. We just looking for the people. This the recruitment phase, so to speak.
Right. The right
The ones
people.
that who can get it, man, and the right people. If you can get it, you got some skills that's fundamental to us moving forward. You an instant shoe in, like for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it
I
take
think
you a
for I
while to
think
get
for
it, and
my
you
my
got skills that instrumental, we gonna train you up so you could be that instant
yeah,
shoe in. Maybe
thankful
not as instant.
for
Might
my
require a
role
little
as
simmer in the
well.
cooking.
You know what I'm saying? I got my little role, and
Absolutely,
I, that's all I need. You know what I'm saying? All I need is my little title, and that tells me everything I need to do. So we all
absolutely.
good. We
So,
all good.
so
So
that's what we doing. We building up all of our knowledges because the arena is gonna get a lot larger than what we're experiencing now. I'm preparing people for that phase. You understand? We ain't gonna go out there playing the Super Bowl and not did any training, no practicing, or nothing like that. Can you dig it?
yeah,
Can't go out there like that. So, since that's what it is, and we ain't even playing in the Super Bowl, that's just an analogy because we ain't nobody play Toya sport because
Muted.
owners of the joint, right? So more like that. We on that level. And then you got the players that's on the field, and ain't none of us players on the field. You did. Some of us gonna have to get dirty on the field. So some of us gonna have to don some uniforms, etc., to do battle intellectually, battle these people over who we are in our lands, and to maintain them, and to be able to enrich them unencumbered, unless we ask for any help. And then the way you ask for help, you got to do it a certain way. You just can't just say any old thing. Jurisdiction again. With that being stated, it's up to us to do that so we can put people on the land and people who would want to come and be on the land to help provide a safe haven for our people, for who we are, and to preserve our cultural identity as who we are, and to move forward as a people, right? And we do have lands and places that we can call our home because everywhere we put our 2 feet at is our home. You home everywhere you at on America, baby. That's real. I don't care where at on this land you at. That's your home. So what, you go from the living room to the kitchen to the dining room to the playroom to the whatever room. Right, many rooms in the house. Can y'all dig it? Room called Jamaica, right? Room called St. Lucia.
Unmuted.
Room called Florida, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Michigan. Many rooms, Canada, right? Many rooms, Chile, Brazil. Can you dig it? Antarctica, many freaking rooms. So since we got a lot of rooms, it's enough for everybody. Let's fix up our house. The party been raging for too long.
right.
Party been
Somebody.
going on too long. Time to shut it down. Let's have the guests clean up because they messed it up. So they got to clean up first, and then Donald Trump can move all his people out. And I'm opposed to the wall. And if they want to build a wall, let's build it like around all of Europe, right? Let's build the wall around that,
That
and then we good, right?
Right.
We could put it in the Atlantic Ocean around their portions, and then we could come over to the Pacific Ocean around their portions, and that could be the wall. Like if they want to build a wall, that's cool right there, right? Y'all stay on y'all side of that joint, we stay on our side of that joint, man, we good. Can you
Good.
dig it? If that's
Yeah.
how y'all want to rock and roll, if any wall is to be built, then let's build it like that. And let the Americans be for the Americans, and let whoever ain't American be on their side of the wall. You feel what I'm saying? If they want to build a wall, then let that the wall to be built. Don't build it on my house, segregate my rooms, because we like the open floor plan. And you don't have carte blanche to come into the house and change up the floor plan being the daggone guest. Now, do you?
Nope.
Do you?
no.
Can
Nope.
I come into your house and change y'all floor plans up just because?
Nope. Also, if y'all want to get a hold of Chief Oyeminia, her phone number and her email is in the description box. And also for the other nations, if you guys get a hold of this information, you can contact her. Is Her email is in the description box, and her phone number is also there as well. So
Booyah.
feel free to let's get started. Tired of talking.
Cool. Absolutely, absolutely. Time for doing. Okay, Chief, lay it on us. Go ahead. I yield. Chief Noyamina has the floor, y'all. Hey, just before and shutting down and kind of closing, I'll probably come on again, and I know we're gonna all do our farewells and stuff. But I just want to thank everybody who still hung in there with us. 10:30 in next class, we're gonna start off with the OAS. I mean, not the OAS. We're gonna start off with some of the tools that we have available to us. Now that we got some basic concepts down, we're gonna move
Okay.
forward and start to touch on the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, as well as the United Nations Declaration on the Rights
Okay.
of Indigenous Peoples. And we're still going to back it up against all these other things that we've been covering, because all of it is interwoven. But now that we know the difference between jurisdictions, what benefits do we have of being Aboriginal and indigenous to the lands of America? What benefits do we have by being Aboriginal indigenous to the world in general? What have these countries agreed upon, and what
Muted.
agreement that to do what things so we can progress ourselves as a people? We'll learn that, the terminology that's contained within the text, again, the dictionary and the learning and teaching guides for this stuff. We'll get all of those word bank items so we know and can put it in the proper context. Right? So we're going to be gurus of this stuff as we move through it, but that's what we want to be, because every day, like the brother said, I live this. Me and several other people live this. We live this in the courtrooms like every other week. We live it when we just had a meeting with children and youth family services, and we got another one coming up in which they completely understand and says, yes, you guys are in a different freaking jurisdiction on a whole nother planet, right? As they stated. So now they want to help us instead of harming us. So now it's a whole different conversation. So yeah, we're going to meet up back again and talk about all the donations they about to lay on us. That's what we about to do. That's different than coming in, be like, let me take you, snatch your children up, or let me go put this fine and fee on you, or let me micromanage your household. That's totally different. That ain't even the same conversation. Different jurisdiction, right? So with that being stated, I might even record that session, and we might even have it on tribeup. How about some stuff like that? Maybe we can get a section on what our government is actually doing. How about that? And then we could post the meetings, video content of the meetings, audio content, and be like newscast if you want for Aboriginal indigenous peoples. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. It's up to y'all to make it happen. I ain't got time. We go in with cameras and tape recorders or digital recorders ablazing and witnesses. That's how we go in, and then we hit the ground running, and then we hug up after we leave, and we get stuff accomplished, resolved to the best of our ability. If it ain't resolved, then it's continue for another time.
Excuse me.
So,
Hello?
yeah, what's good?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you might want to put that on the private page, like if you're going to do the recording and stuff, because it could be people that could impersonate the, like, what you're trying to do. And trying to, invade their way in now to get your good graces and then try to destroy everything you have.
Okay, so yeah, repeat that one more time. So I missed kind of the first beginning, brother, but I got up in there and destroyed a good
There's a
thing.
lot of that going on, yeah.
Yeah, it's like people that go try to invade the tribe. Like if you try to do that, they're gonna try to get your good graces, try to get to know you, and try to figure you out to get your good graces, and then try to destroy everything you have going on. Because I seen it happen multiple times.
Absolutely,
yeah,
you're absolutely
so
correct.
have we.
Yes, you guys are absolutely correct. That's why Kota Key Bay, when I meet people, I hit you dead in your mouth with the truth, with both knuckles, no gloves. You get knocked the F out on the spot because homie don't play that. So I get that, and yes, we do have a vetting process. And I don't trust nobody as far as I could throw them, so that includes y'all. See, I just said it. That's why I'm different. I'm different. I know who my friends are, who my enemies. I know who are potential agents. Period. Everybody I don't know, y'all a potential agent. I don't know y'all like that, so potential agent. People I do know that done work with me, that been in the field, in the trenches, I'm sitting back watching them, they sitting back watching me, and then we help each other. Yeah, them people I know. I know what they worth right there. And then they watching me, and I'm watching them because people can change. So I know that too. And I know the people that don't change because they've been the way they are forever. So them people, the circle gets smaller and smaller.
That's
So
right.
I don't have friends. I don't need no more friends. I need lineage, right? I need
Good.
lineage right now. I don't care about friends. I ain't got no getting in good with me. If you gonna get in good with me, that's called take this 5 acres, fight this judge, go for it. Anybody who know me, they get the same treatment. So before you can get good with me, you got to get good with taking your own house first and not paying any mortgage first. That's what you got to do to get in good with me first. You got to do it with your own family. You got to take yourself out the system first. You got to get off a social security card using birth certificate having. You got to get out of that. If you ain't out of that, then you can't be. I don't mess with you like that, man. I ain't gonna mess with nobody like that. We're in front of Congress people, senators, governors, etc., in different agencies, courts, marshals. I mean, you name it, bro. Homeland Security, the whole gambit. I can't afford to be around no idiots. So I don't be around idiots. If I don't think everybody around me is up to the task, I go so low. Because I trust me. And if I mess up, then that's me messing up, and then I get to learn some lessons, and I get to go at them again. That's real, right? I'm not going to send nobody out there to do my
Unmuted.
with me. That's what you're going to have to do. So I'm training you to do it. Y'all getting the training right now. To see who can handle it come graduation time. Graduation time, everybody need to have 20 acres. How about that? Check that out. And not pay for the 20 acres. How about that? See, that's class right there. What y'all thought? What y'all thought? Y'all thought this was going to be in
That's class.
Oh, y'all got it twisted, huh?
That's it.
Y'all got it all messed up. Oh, man, y'all ain't know that. But now y'all know that.
That's it.
So now you get to see what it's really like. And then once you experience what I've experienced and what a lot of other people experience, now you can get with somebody because you know what it takes. If you ain't down with it, you're going to run away. It's a built-in vetting process. It's built-in.
Especially when it's time to do that work, they ain't gonna be ready.
Thank you.
But the thing about it is that the no name, no face, like that's gonna have to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna have to be able to be public people because if we don't, we're not gonna move forward. How somebody gonna take you serious when all they know you is Lil Drake and shit? They're like, oh yeah, it's like no, we stepping our game up now. You need to see yourself as a politician or something or something. You know what I'm saying? You got to see yourself a little more than Lil Mookie.
Ambassador. I like to say an ambassador.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to see yourself a little more than that.
We don't fall under that. I'm going to say, and I don't want to say sovereigns of the land. I don't want to confuse nobody, but we need to come back home to our lineage. But definitely we got to be savvy about it. We have to use diplomacy. Use diplomacy. Like I said, we got to step the game up, step our language up, step our mentality up. This is the starting point forward.
Step our professionalism up.
Everybody ain't going to want to come into this circle. And the ones that do, we're going to put them through the test. Everybody's going to get tested, so there's going to be people that hang out. There's going to be people that leave. There's going to be all kind of stuff going down. But one thing is for sure, once you understand what's involved, what's at stake, we can get these people out. So a vetting process is good, and it is much needed. So I thank the brother for stating that, because that is what's needed. A lot of people have already been invaded. Damage has been done, or was it to be done?
It has.
Right? So there's already things that we got to come in and instantly repair right off the top with everybody who says, you know what, I've been jacked over. Can you please help me for real? Because I'm serious about it. So the people who've been jacked over and they still in it, they got heart. That's called looking for the truth. And that's worthy of our attention. Because that means you've been through some of the garbage and you know what it looks like and you don't want it no more.
That's right. That's right.
But only until you're tired of eating garbage can you even deal with us, because we ain't serving garbage.
That's right.
Dig it.
That's
so you ain't going to want to eat what we got because we don't have garbage. But if you still into eating garbage, you're going to look at us like, I don't want that. You're going to move on anyway. We ain't got no garbage.
Somebody said, Joe 47 said, hood winked and bamboozled.
Yeah, hood winked and bamboozled. A lot of that.
Right.
Tell Joe, I said, I can appreciate. Can Joe hear me? Joe, if you can hear me. A
He
lot
can
of
hear
that
you.
going on, bro.
Joe
Oh
been
man,
Joe,
my
where you
man,
been
Joe,
anyway,
Joe.
Joe?
That's what I'm talking about, Joe.
All you know,
Hoodwink bamboozology.
all our channels been getting shut down so rapid that we can't even like we don't even. Yeah.
They don't want nobody to hear this. So we might just have to do the show and don't do live and still just post it.
You know what? I say do the live because people need
Okay.
to hear it. The truth
Okay.
has to come out, and I'm not one hiding the truth. People
Right.
can say what they say, and shallow people gonna follow the shallow people who saying what they saying. So that's gonna just
Yeah.
get rid of all those. It's called you knowing who with you and who ain't. And I don't mind knowing the people who not with me because them the ones I gotta study to be like, okay, eventually at some point I'm gonna come a time where we gonna be riding in the bus, so to speak, and I'm just gonna run. I need to see who I need to run over. Boom, 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 boom. Like,
Yeah,
and
so
then some people might deserve to get backed up on. And check this out. We got the glass floor in the bus, right? So you can see who you ran over. And then if it's worthy, we can do a backup to get a clearer look. But boom, boom, boom with all tires, right?
Silly.
Our bus gonna have 18 wheels, like 18 axles. To get 18 wheels, our bus is gonna have 18 axles. So the running over is repeatedly, right?
I know you.
So
Yes.
definitely I like to see who getting ran over. So I'm not opposed to seeing the people that need some running over. Bus, then we build spaceship, then we build like new planet. We don't mind doing what we gotta do. Either way, here we come. That's it.
right.
It's like deal with that and here we go. It is what it is. You can't tell us we can't be us on our land, so you lose. Everybody is an instant loss with that. You know what I'm saying? So anybody coming outside of that is instant genocide creating. So if they want to commit
Muted.
which is any attempt to destroy in whole or in substantial part any part of our culture, our people, of who we being, then you in 18 USC 1091 gonna have a date. Followed up by 18 USC 242 and 241. Y'all gonna have a date. There's gonna be some dates called court dates or whatever dates, but there's gonna be some dates, and y'all can have those dates. So before y'all want those dates and go out on those dates, look those numbers up and tell me if you want to go out on them dates. And if you do, then that's great. Then here we go. If you don't, and you want to be part of the solution and not the problem, then we here too. Can you dig it? The law is the same for everybody, whether it punishes or rewards. Remember that. That goes for me and everybody else. Can y'all dig it?
Yes.
So the law is the law. And all things is governed by law. Whether it be the laws of the universe, the laws of the land, or the laws of the corporation that you choose to serve, it still punishes or rewards accordingly. You understand? So based on the jurisdiction you in, that's on you. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm gonna always take the high road. I'm gonna do the laws of the not universe. How about that? Whoa, that's pretty cool. The laws of the not universe. Figure that one out. Knowledge Bill said, true, where's the live feed? So what's the live feed, bro? I know y'all had a different live feed, brother. Oh, what's the live feed, Ty Data? Live feed. Live and direct.
What live feed? What do you mean? Where is the live feed?
The live feed. The YouTube joint.
Oh, Tribe Up.
Tribe Up. Tribe is it Tribe Up News? Whether in sports, I think.
Tribeup.app.
So what is that?
And I don't know why he named it Weather Sports, and that was a question too. Because I don't even want to be affiliated with no weather and no sports because all of that is lies and
Unmuted.
and is that I'm not part of that.
Yeah, sorry about that. Tessie, can y'all hear me? It's on It's on Tribe Sports News and Entertainment. That's the last channel we down with. We got like two more channels left, and so yeah.
I see. I guess we are gonna be associated.
Yeah, I mean it will be uploaded on Tribe Up and stuff like that. But right now we down to that channel.
Last channel. Wow.
Yeah, hopefully
they
won't delete
really
this
hating on us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but that's how it's Tribe. So it's now it was just Tribe Up, then it went to Tribe Up News. Now it's Tribe Up Sports News and Entertainment. So,
Right.
Okay.
Right. So
why?
that'll be shut down probably
You know
tomorrow,
what?
and it'll be
We
tribe up.
about to change all of that tribe. I mean, we just gonna change the whole Tribe Up thing. I got a whole deal with YouTube coming up, so
Well, we'll
it's
do it.
about to get right. Y'all about to be
We'll
super
talk
right.
about it at the
So,
meeting.
and if y'all want that name, if you want the name, then we could keep the name and get it back and yank it and
Well, we'll
cut all
talk
the
about that at the meeting.
So wait, I
definitely that
still
could
have a
happen.
question. Peace. This is Knowledge Bill.
Peace, what's going on, bro?
Pardon me.
Hi,
I'm
Knowledge
well.
Build. How are you?
Peace, brother.
I'm wonderful.
Muted.
Yes. Where are you?
I'm in Pittsburgh.
All right. That's what's up. You out there where seafood is.
So
All right. I'm sorry.
There are 14 participants in the conference.
No, I was asking
Yeah,
Ty
it's
to
on
tell
YouTube.
you.
It's on
Okay.
YouTube. You'll see it come up.
Oh, okay. Kota's going there now. Okay. What is oh my goodness.
Gotcha.
I didn't even see it. I was so much you holiday time. The rest of you. This is not that's not it though. That's something else. What they're talking about. See, I don't know what that is. That ain't got nothing to do with that's okay. I don't know what they're doing.
I found it. It's on YouTube. You gotta look at it. You'll see it.
Okay.
There you go, right there. The one that says subscribe, I think is it. That one right there. Click on that one. There it goes. See that?
Okay. Yeah, we gotta fix that code because people are getting used to having something to do on Sunday. What did you see?
Unmuted.
15. Okay. So the class.
How was it shut down, Ty?
Well, what about our the class that was done last Sunday is still on there, or did they strike it? Okay, cool. Wow. We dangerous. Wow. Uh, okay. Mm. Well, we know what basically what it is because my whole system have been shut down before. It is the system. That's what I'm gonna go with. We're not gonna go with the enemies of our own people right now. It's this system who is afraid of our people getting this knowledge. It is. And that's what we need. Exactly. Well, I mean, actually, it's nothing to really talk about at the moment. I just want, I mean, I would like to just encourage people that if they're looking for a real community to start off building in within themselves, that is where we're at. We're at building a small community, which we already have a lot of other things going on, which I don't need to go into right now. But it's about building. And right now we have land, we have cabins, we have areas that need to be uh, renovated and lived in, and start this community off from scratch. Um, you know, um, and we have access to having equipment and area where we have our own businesses, where we give jobs to our own people. Um, the community has everything that we could possibly need. Um, and it's just going to take us to get in there as Aborigines and let our people know who they be so that we can have the forces that we need. With that being said, I would like, if possible, if my grand Yinka is available, I would like for her to share some words of wisdom with us.
Yes, she is.
How wonderful.
Peace, light, and love to everyone. Excuse me, I was feeding my face.
I'm sorry,
No,
Granny.
it's okay. It's okay. I've enjoyed the dialogue that we've had today. I've enjoyed listening to Coda teach and reaching out to people that may have not been able to make the connection, to fill that void that yearns inside of them, to know just who we are. So we've made the connection for you. We've streamlined it, made it easy for people to build, to connect, for communities to be built as a result of
Muted.
connecting those dots, figuring out the missing link that ties us back to the land in which our ancestors held in time, since time immemorial. So now is a time for us to do whatever it takes and to void ourselves of miscellaneous time that could be used to build nations and uplift the people. We need this right now more than ever. So I would encourage you all to take advantage of, the request of Chief Noyamina, the request of Kota to develop the lands that we have. And don't take that lightly. We have land, we have acreages. We just need people of like mindset, of serious people who want to unite, who want to build, and not just talk about it, but actually do it. And also live it. If you search yourself and you felt that you're still somehow connected to this system, we understand that it's a process. Uh, for some people, it can happen overnight, and that's great. However, just start making the progress in order to reform yourself, to wean yourself off of the system. That's weaning yourself off of medications and uh, cards that connect you to the system, identities that connect you to the system, all the various links and supports that the system illusionally provides, which you're not as free as we all see that we are not, right? And when
Right.
I say we, just as a whole, I myself, I don't just talk it, I live it, and it's very liberating. It's very freeing to just, say that I don't want to go anywhere today and just do that. Work from home, teach from home, teach your children the proper verbiage and usage of words and how words will trap you into the matrix and trap you into their system. And so
Right.
when we know better, we need to do better. Again, I want to reiterate, take advantage of these calls out for people to bring your talents under this umbrella of protection. As we will protect you, you are to protect us as well. And we shall live together in harmony and
Okay.
restore balance to the world, not just ourselves, because once we reconnect to the soil and the land in which of our ancestors and reclaim that which is ours, and the world knows about us, it's time for us to know about us.
Innocent.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes.
Beautiful said. Beautiful said.
Well said. Well said.
Unmuted.
Or all men. That's cool. Everybody got a lane. Man, they got them now. They called the military, right? I don't know if y'all know this, but you know what I'm saying? It's called the military in most cases. All one thing, right? And that's cool. Whatever the case is, whatever you're liking, whatever you're doing is in degrees of your intellect. The sexual preference is irrelevant, but you can't force it on nobody. And at the same time, so if you want to create a nation state of that, that's cool. Great. Ain't got nothing to do with the law. So as long as you come in lawful, that's cool. And as long as we solving problems together, that's cool. Period. Can you dig it? So gender equality. And it states our women have the right to the recognition, boom, protection, and enjoyment of all human rights and fundamental freedoms. Right? Free from discrimination of what? Of who?
Any kind.
Well, that means your sexual preference should stay in your where? Outside your body and inside your body. So you won't receive discrimination of what?
Any kind.
Man, because you got to be free from that, right? But if you put your belief system on somebody else, aren't you discriminating now? Because now you bashing me because I ain't something that you are. That's a problem, ain't it? So now, and if I'm a woman and you discriminate, man, shouldn't I be free of that? Don't I have a right to be free of you insisting that I be something that I ain't? Should I be free of that? Should I be free of a woman telling me that I need to be only with women? Like, shouldn't I need to be free of that? That's, whoa, what you mean? Like, that's a problem right there. Any kind, that's part of a kind. Since that's taking you out of context of the whole design of a woman is to give birth, states got to recognize that violence against our peoples, and particularly women, hinders and nullifies the enjoyments of all human rights. Why? Because they bring into the world the future. But if they with each other and don't bring in the world of the future, where does that leave us at as a nation? On the what?
On the decline.
Eventually, will we be existing as a people?
No, we will not. Be in trouble now. Listening to Margaret Sanger's lineage, and they're preaching of abortions and small familyism. Shame on you to have so many children, they say. All Margaret Sanger. It continues today.
Continues today. So with that being stated, the necessary measures we must put in place to prevent and eradicate all forms of violence and discrimination, particularly against our women and children. Since we were never into that sort of thing, that ain't part of our culture and heritage. So we getting back to our culture and heritage. And if you want to play in somebody else's culture and heritage, you got a right to do that. Just don't bring that noise over here. That's all I'm saying. And everybody does have a right to belong to indigenous communities and to one or more indigenous groups of peoples, as long as they are right here in accordance with what? The identity and what else? Traditions, oh shit, customs, and what? Systems of belonging of each people. So, again, the Confederacy still is a fantastic thing because it still allows each nation state in it to have their own systems, but one constitution. The Constitution as far as your sexual preference, states keep that joint in your closet, in your house, in whatever you is. It's cool. I don't need to see you squeezing up on Bob. I mean, damn, like I don't need to see that. That's all I'm saying. Like I don't need to see that. And if that ain't the culture of that particular nation state, then respect that. But if you want a nation state where it's just y'all, then yeah, that's cool. Then when I come to y'all, I can't be cringing and tripping. I got to be like, man, what up, though? Right? That don't mean I got to participate because I still got my own jurisdiction when it come to that. But still, definitely I can't be like this. Can't happen. That's y'all joint. You feel me? That's all I'm saying, because you got a right to do that. So absolutely. I don't approve personally, but it ain't up to me, whatever it is. Just don't hurt nobody else while you doing it. And if it ain't causing no hurt or pain to nobody else, then it's no big deal. That's how I look at it. Which brings us to our right to our own judicial personality. And as you see, the states have to recognize fully our judicial personality of our people, respecting our forms of organization, and promoting the full exercise of the rights recognized in this declaration. So as you're seeing, here's some of the vetting processes for these people who claim to be tribes. They have to come to the table with their structure, because you can't have all of this stuff if you ain't got a structure. Can you dig it? Right or wrong?
You're right.
Did you guys agree or disagree with that? Judicial personality. You have to be organized to have a judicial personality, or can you just be like whatever with it? That is the question. We still got 15 people on the line. I hear Willie fidgeting in the background.
There has to be a foundation. There has to be a structure into how you will operate as a indigenous people.
Absolutely.
Unmuted. Muted.
Oh, to this right here? Yeah. I'm boom. Copy that. There you go. It's the whole book. It's not just one article. It's the whole thing. Read the whole thing from front page cover to back page cover. Don't miss any pages in between. Relay that message. Don't come to me with one article. If you're going to read the book, read the whole book. Understand what the book is actually saying, and then write down a whole bunch of questions that you have about the book and what you read, and then we can get those questions answered so you can achieve superior understanding and intellect upon the subject. Is that clear to everybody? Just want to make that known. Don't take nothing out of context and get all carried away with some stuff that you have no idea what you're talking about. Don't do that.
Unmuted.
Please don't. You're going to hurt yourself. Oh, I just put it in the chat. In the chat on the conference call chat. Yeah, I put that in there. The www.oas.org/en/star. Yeah, it's in the. Yeah, you got. Okay, there you go. Cool. Yep. So then you copy and paste that, but definitely so since you have to have that, most people don't have a lot of things, and I'm not saying no one has it, but it's not comprehensive that covers the multitude of things that need to be covered. So here's a brief, just quick look at the Constitution of the Iroquois Confederacy of Aboriginal American People, right? So this being our Constitution that governs the Confederacy, which is based on a lot of the principles that we have incorporated into the Constitution for the United States of America, that we have incorporated into the declarations both on the American Declaration and the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, on behalf of the Aboriginal peoples of the land. Can you dig what I'm saying? So our Constitution is based on those documents in part, as well as law, the great binding law as well. So a lot of these things are incorporated into the structure and how everything breaks down, who does what, who's responsible for where, the allegiance of the peoples, etc., for each and every state, nation states to honor all other nation states.
Muted.
And so our laws are clear, they're concise, they are complete. You feel me? As you can see, I'm just briefly scrolling down just to let people know it's not a joke, it's not playing games, but you got to come with your stuff in order. Can't just have what you think is whatever it is and then be like, this is what it is. Nah, that's called a fraud right there. Don't need that. So every point of this document is covered not only in our Constitution, but in our very movements. It is very specific. It has a specific diction to it, and you can't go outside of that box. That's what you can't do when you're interfacing with these people, just saying, with these entities. So we have the right to reject assimilation. And even the article on genocide states the same, and there's the same in the Constitution and all these other documents. And our people have the right to maintain, express, and freely develop our cultural identity in all respects, free from any, check this out, external attempt at assimilation. And anything outside of who we are is an external attempt at assimilation. Can you dig it? So we holding people to the letter of this thing. And states shall not carry out, adopt, support, or favor any policy of assimilation of our people or of destruction of our culture. So we are fully protected, as you can see, fully. It's like African Americans don't get access to this. Black people can't have access to this because the language is specific. You don't see black people, African American people, you don't see the language right there. The language ain't there. You see indigenous, but then you look up the definition of indigenous, it'd be like Aborigine. Boom. You look up Aborigine, it'd be like right in America right there. You'd be like, cool, because that's what we talking about, America. We ain't talking about Africa, nobody that came from Africa, because you can't be indigenous to Africa and America. You got to be Aborigine, meaning the first somewhere. You can't be the first everywhere. You got to be first in the point because you only one point. And the point ain't earth size. Can you dig it? So whenever your bottom booty cheeks came out of whatever womb that you came out of on whatever soil, that's where you Aborigine to, just to be clear. So if the womb you came out of was on the soil of so-called Africa, then that's your home. And claim that shit. Go claim that joint. That's yours. But that don't mean you come to somebody else's home and claim it, because we Aborigine to this land. We ain't coming over to Africa talking about we want Africa, because we don't want Africa. That's y'all joint. We don't want Europe, Asia, none of that. That's y'all joint. Y'all can have that joint. That's y'all joint right there. However acquired. Ain't our joint. Don't care what games y'all play over there. It's for y'all to figure out. But we
Unmuted.
You can have the whole planet if you want it. Definitely
Muted.
on the planet, but you can't live there, right or wrong.
Unmuted. Muted.
Okay, because I'll be like, man, you could go ahead and be in the Sahara part of daggone Africa if you want to or whatever. Desert action. See if you love it then. Like, won't be loving that joint in Afghanistan. I don't think you love it over there. But anywho, definitely with that being stated, we have the protection against genocide. And our people have the right not to be the object of any form of genocide or attempts to exterminate us or our efforts. Can you dig it? There's laws that protect us fully, period. And as soon as you understand that, then okay, now you can move. Now you what's called free. But you still bound by the laws yourself. So we can't commit genocide on our own people. That's what it means. Can you dig it? So that's why the line is drawn in the concrete or in the universe or in the cosmos, whatever you want to call it at, but that's where it's at. So we got a right to be us, and you got a right to be you, but you can't be us while you being you. That's all, because we are us and a we. You're not an I. We not that. We. You feel me? It's we the people, not I the individual, but we the people. So it's a we thing over here. So got to be down with the we, not the I. Just saying. Knowledge Bill, who follows these laws? Who? That's a good question. Who follows these laws? Everybody, when you hold them accountable to it. But if you don't know who, if so, the game is.
There's such a law.
There you go. Say it one more time, sister.
I profess to you, Knowledge Bill. Have you ever personally tried to enforce such a law? Would be the better question.
Boom. There you go. KBZ. The question was, have you yourself attempted to enforce such a law? Because to
No.
enforce a law, you got to
I
know that the
haven't.
law exists, right?
Okay, wait.
What's that?
Have I tried to enforce any of these particular laws? No.
Copy that. Copy that. And that's what we talking about. If you have never done it, definitely they do follow the law. When you enforce the law, they do follow it. We be having success with them following it. You just got to bring it to their attention that you know the law, and then bring this to their attention that this is the law, and then they go do their research, and then they talk to their boss, then their boss come out and be like, yeah, that's the law, and they be telling the cronies to kick rocks. Then the cronies kick rocks, and you get to go about your business.
So the we that you're speaking on is just a general, United States. ... That's what you're saying?
What's that?
Like government
No.
official, like when you, I'm not saying like it's not being followed. I'm just saying like who, like is this the courts? You're speaking on? Is like who?
Oh, this pertains to any system, object, entity who is in sufficiently close nexus to anything not America, meaning everything commerce or of business or of trade.
Okay.
Or if anything foreign to America, this pertains to all of those entities in whatever form they come in.
Got you.
Commercial or otherwise. Can you dig it? Everybody who's in America that purports to have a business here came from someplace else. All of those people, regardless of the position they hold, and whatever estimation or esteem people may hold those people in, they ain't got no damn rights in my land.
Understood.
So, when you enforce the law upon them, they are foreigners. The judges, the magistrates are foreigners. They come with Roman civil law, English common law, and whatever other law they come here with. Sharia law, blah, 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 blah.
Gotcha.
Can you dig it?
Actual fact.
But it's all about jurisdiction. Our people just don't know what that means. Now, we had a class on it, and that is recorded live. You could probably rewind a couple of hours ago, catch it. Ty Data should hook it up in sections, point out different points, so when you mouse over, you can be like, point here, point there. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But definitely, jurisdiction covered that. So with that being stated, since this pertains to everybody who has a different mindset and who is not of our lineage, they have to abide by these laws. This is what's called supreme law of land. The Constitution is not supreme law of land, but it states the treaties are supreme law of land. If you read the words,
got you.
The treaties are just mentioned in the Constitution because that's the way our ancestors wrote it, as well as many of the other democratic principles, reserving our rights enshrined within that same document, which is enshrined in this document that all 35 independent nations, which known as the OAS, or the Organization of American States, is a party to, as stated here. Antigua and Barbuda are bound by these laws, just like the United States of America are bound by these same laws, just as Canada is bound by these same laws, just as El Salvador, Jamaica, Suriname, St. Lucia, all bound by this law I'm showing you. This ain't an individual law of one of these. All of these got to come under this law. You understand the hierarchy? The
Indeed
chain
so.
of command. It's a chain of command to this thing, so to speak. What's that, bro?
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it seems like they all agreed to this too. So it's not like
It ain't that they seem like it. They all agreed to it. Ain't no seeming. It says. Read what it say, bro.
all 35 independent states of the Americas have ratified the OAS Charter and are members of the organization.
Okay, period, right? Where do you see seem like up there? Point that word out. Where you see that at?
You
Do you see it anywhere up there?
copy
No, I
that.
want to be clear.
No,
I want to
you
be
right.
clear. Okay, if it ain't on the page, don't put it up there. That's called bullshittery. We don't deal with that. So read what's there. That's why I put it up there. I took the energy to put it up there so you could read it, so you don't miss say anything.
No, it's a good look. I appreciate that.
Good, good. So this is the law. We going over it. It's hard to believe I know because we ain't never heard of such a thing. This called a miracle in the Bible. Oh, and I would be equated to Jesus and shit, but I ain't no damn Jesus. Jesus didn't even want to be Jesus. Jesus, matter of fact, said, nigga, I ain't Jesus. I'm just a brother attempting to show you what I've done. All men and women could do. That's my brother and sister, of course. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. So, since we have guarantees against racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerances, right? It maps it out in a crap load of articles, right to our cultural identity and integrity. And what you are experiencing now is our Aboriginal integrity coming through myself and others just like me. That's it. It's just that experience. It's called we're not required to care about your feelings, but you are required to learn this daggone law or kick rocks to Africa or wherever other country you come from. Can you dig it? That's what this is about. It's not about nothing else. Are we clear? Just to be clear, it's literally about that. It's called either you're going to follow the laws or you got to go home and be disruptive. But we ain't going to have you disruptive in our house. Can we all agree with that? Do we all agree with that, people?
Yeah, we can agree with that, and that's just exactly what's going on with the United States when they do the things that they do. If you disturbing commerce, they gonna deal with you, and that's the same thing that we got to understand. If people are disrupting us as a people and are on our land, then you have to go to another place, or you will get dealt with. And it's the same concept.
Absolutely. So if you guys agree, don't say nothing. I'm glad everybody agree right now, man, because, ooh, boy, don't be throwing me under the bus on this joint. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm for real. But definitely, does everybody see our right to our cultural identity and integrity?
Yep.
What does it state? Go ahead and read it, bro. Somebody said, yep. You good?
You want them to read the whole thing?
Yeah, go ahead. Why not?
Indigenous peoples. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't see you scroll.
Yeah, my bad.
Indigenous peoples have the right to their own land, cultural identity, and integrity, and to their cultural heritage, whether tangible or intangible, including historic and ancestral heritage, and to the protection, preservation, maintenance, and development of that cultural heritage for their collective continuity and that of their members, and so as to transmit that heritage to future generations.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Yeah, that's some
Oh,
good sounding
okay.
music. What did that sound like to you, sister? How did that sound to you?
It sounds good.
How did it make you feel reading that? And by knowing you're entitled to that, how does it make you feel just reading that?
It makes me feel, I want to say powerful in a sense, because, you know, I have something that I can identify as and go off of, not by something that I've been told or taught and it's not true.
Right. The second part, you're going to love this. Read the second part. This is where we come in at. Go ahead, read the second part.
States shall provide redress through effective mechanisms which may include restitution developed in conjunction with indigenous people with respect to their cultural, intellectual, religious, and spiritual property taken without their free, prior, and informed consent or in violation of their laws, traditions, and customs. Wow.
So the Iroquois Confederacy of Aboriginal American people is what you would call that a effective mechanism. See? Right there. See, it says effective mechanism is right there, black and white. Even the Congress said, yep, Iroquois Confederacy, effective mechanism. I'm just saying.
But I mean, all these corporations, agencies, municipalities, especially those, you know, getting pulled over by the police, all those things will go against your culture because none of that was here.
Absolutely.
When our ancestors created this constitution for these people to follow.
Right.
That was always for them, never for us.
Right. And you notice it says developed in conjunction with our people. Again, we are that effective mechanism that includes and may include restitution, correcting wrongs, developed in conjunction with our people. It will require confederacy of nations with respect to our cultural, intellectual, didn't say smart, religious, and spiritual property taken without ever giving us this term right here, free, prior, and informed consent. That's the magic word right there. That's a phrase. There's a whole class to be taught on this, which I will teach to you. It will take probably about 4 or 5 days to teach just this one phrase. There's books out on this one phrase that is several hundred pages in depth.
Informed consent and implied consent. Yeah.
Nope, don't even say that. I'm saying just upon this subject only. Free, prior, and informed consent. Nothing else.
Understood.
I don't know what. I don't. You can say if you want to bring that to the table. I don't know what an implied consent
No, I
is.
don't. I don't know. I'm saying you said it
Right.
so much, and with that phrase alone, I was just saying, yeah, you're right.
Right. It doesn't exist. It ain't even in nowhere. You don't see implied nothing. So definitely copy that. I can appreciate that. But definitely free, prior, and informed consent has a whole book on the subject, which we will go in depth just on that phrase. There's several other phrases also equally as in depth, is what I'm saying. So once you understand what that phrase means, you will never ever forget it. You will always use it, and you'll use that to do great things. Trust that. Because we have a right to recognition and respect for all of our ways of life. It didn't say some, it didn't say half. It said what?
Right.
All of our ways of life. Like, chick better have my money. Not some, not half, but all my rights. All my ways of life. All our ways of what? Cosmovision. Oh, there's a word you don't hear every day. Anybody know what cosmovision is? Just a
Mm-mm.
question. Cosmovision, right? Is that even a thing, or is that some new stuff? I'm going to say that's new stuff. Heck yeah, that's some new stuff. Cosmovision. New word. Cosmovision. Let's see what that word is. Cosmovision. That sounds like some big stuff, don't it? Why is this in Spanish? Oh, mackerel. Is this in Spanish? Okay. Oh, man, hold on. I'm looking up Cosmovision. Oh, man. All right, Willie, I'm going to have to mute you up a little bit. We got some humming in the background, some going on. I don't know what that's all about. Cosmo, anybody find Cosmovision?
Can I be heard in the room? I'm just
Yes, you
happy.
can.
Thank you. Okay, now I'm muted.
Copy that. You in. Cosmovision. It keeps going to this crazy stuff. Cosmovision. Perception of the universe. Well, I will
Click the
translate.
first one without the accent on it. Go back. I think you're clicking the second one.
Oh. I just typed it in as
Yeah, you might have
Cosmovision.
clicked the second one instead of the first one.
Oh, I see. I see. This one, okay. All right. It keeps coming up in Espanol. Pregúntele a Tomás. Right? Percepción del universal. Right? Cosmovisions Cristiana. So, perception of the universe. Percepción del universo. So, perception of the universe. Can you dig it? And copyright K Dictionaries. Worldview. Cosmovision also means worldview. Cite Collins Spanish Dictionary. So Cosmovision from Espanol. Looks like dialect, quite possible. And let's see Cosmovision definition. How about that? Oh, and definition. There we go. Now, check this out. Literary criticism or with reference to who? Meaning what? Holy crap, only pertains to us. How about that stuff? Oh my gosh, it ain't even everybody that's in on the Cosmovision. You would think something as big as the cosmos, everybody would have been in on it, right? But since we got a great Cosmovision, it don't even say the Dogon came up with Cosmovision. It didn't say Dogon, did it? Let's go to the dictionary. It's Oxford Dictionary, so I'm kind of interested now. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Dr. Dogon was all about the Cosmovisions and shit. At least that's what BBC told me. I'm joking. Definition of Cosmovision in English. There it is again. Origin 1960s. Earliest use found in Hispanic Review from Spanish Cosmovision from Cosmo plus Vision. In Greek, it's spelled, it would look like Cosmovision. Pronunciation joint. Huh. Copy that. Okay. 1960s, brand new joint. What's that? So our particular way of looking at the universe. That's pretty powerful to have your own way to look at the universe and can't nobody say nothing, don't y'all think? So I know we went a little bit longer than anticipated. We was getting on the roll. I felt y'all needed to get some of this before y'all left up out of here. But definitely, as you can see, we need to have our own systems of everything. And it is literally everything. Everything in the universe, inside and out. Definitely to the cosmovision, spirituality, uses, customs, norms, traditions, forms of social, economic, and political organization, forms of transmission of knowledge. Ty Data, what's up, man? Forms of transmission of knowledge. Can you dig it? Institutions, practices, beliefs, values, dress, and languages, and our interrelationship as established in this declaration. Boom.
I just want to add that Mesoamerican for people that don't know is Central America, and when we dealing with the Aborigines, the headquarters was in Central America.
Yes, that's where the headquarters was at, so to speak. The 5 nations consisted of actually 5 regions of the Americas. The northern region, to include Greenland and Canada, and the United States of America in between New York and California, that thing. Central America, to include Mexico and all parts, Colombia and all of that, Central America. And then you got South America, to include Brazil, Chile, and all of that. That's on the mainland. That is, and then which it would be the north, the south region, and the central region. So that's 3 nations right there. Then you have the Pacific region, which to include Hawaii, islands such as Hawaii, and then you have the Atlantic region, or the eastern region, so to speak, which you have islands such as Jamaica. Right?
Right. And
so those are the 5 regions of the 5 nations, which have many sub-nations under all of that. So that's the way the hierarchy breaks down. Start getting into our politics and how we did stuff.
In the states of the Union on the OSA, Colombia being in that central part, which we would have Washington, D.C., which is a district of that particular state.
Absolutely. Columbia being right here, and the District of Columbia being in Virginia. Can you dig it? I can dig it. So that's why I know Columbia to be.
Dude, that's all they do.
Just saying. Just throwing some stuff out there, right? Saying. But anyway, definitely with that being stated, everybody has to abide by this. And if that ain't good enough, we got the whole world with this. That's called the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Our People. It gets bigger. It gets like worldwide attention. So here's the world saying, yep. And it damn near reads the same, if not the same, as the American joint. So check this out. Our people have right to the full enjoyment as a collective or as individuals. We read that in the other joint. Of all human rights and fundamental freedoms as recognized in the Charter of the United Nations. So it's recognized in the Charter of the OAS and in the Charter of the United Nations. You got the double whammy right here, and the trifecta right inside the Constitution itself. So this is a lot of firepower right here, so to speak, where any old body can't just go tossing this around. So it says the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and International Human Rights Law. Our people and individuals are free and equal to all other peoples and individuals, and extra, have the right to be free from any kind of discrimination in the exercise of our rights, and particularly based upon our origin, indigenous origin, or identity. Boo, yeah. Got them dead to rights. Our peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, we freely determine our political status. You see that right there? Boo, yeah. And freely pursue our economic, social, cultural development, as like it was said in the other joint. So, you know, we got confirmation on top of confirmation on top of confirmation on top of confirmation. Can you dig it? Are y'all with me? I know it's late, but I will go into this more next week, but just to give y'all something to think about. Can you dig it? So we go ahead and wrap this up. Man, I appreciate y'all. There's 13 of y'all still trooping along, hanging on in there. I can appreciate that. Feel the love. Feel the love, y'all. I'm feeling it. But if you guys want me to go on and continue, I could break some more of this stuff down. Or if we want to save this for next week, we can save it. What y'all want to do? It's a lot to cover, so we can have some now, some later. But that's on y'all. I'll leave it up to y'all. I'm going to yield right now.
Speak now, forever hold
Continue.
y'all peace. Continue. We got one, so
Continue.
continue. As long as you got one, keep going, Code.
Copy that. Okay, so.
As long as you want to, though.
Oh, that's great. That's great. You know, I do it for a while. Everybody knows. So this is what I do. So this is stating the same thing, our cosmovisions, and it just labels a whole bunch of rights, and then it just goes in more into detail. States our people have the right to preserve, so under systems, knowledge, education, and communication, which is all the forms we're using right now. We're using a system, and we're speaking on knowledge. We're speaking on knowledge systems. Matter of fact, I'm breaking all this knowledge systems down. Y'all getting it fresh, live and direct. Or if not, then you still getting it live and direct. And we talking about language or diction, right? We talked about these things, and now we're speaking on communicating, which we're also doing in a great manner. We're having dialect. We got some back and forth going, questions and some answers, communication. And our people have the right to preserve, use, develop, revitalize, transmit to our children our own histories, languages, oral traditions, philosophies, systems of knowledge, writing, and literature, and to designate and retain our own names for our communities, for our people, and for our places. And states shall adopt adequate and effective measures to protect the exercise of our right with the full and effective participations of the Iroquois Confederacy of our people. Oh, got some wrestling around. Call you William Russell. Willie be wrestling. William Russell. What's going on? Willie Russell. But anywho, so states shall adopt the adequate and effective measures to protect the exercise of these rights with our full and effective participation. So it's up to us to ensure that they have the adequate amount, which is the proper amount. It's the amount necessary to keep it going. And I say adequate is filling out the glass. And even that might not be adequate. I don't know what adequate is. I will be like, I'll let y'all know when we get there. How about that? So until then, we'll call it everything they're doing right now is less than adequate. We can agree on that, right? So it's our duty to make sure that the adequate and effective measures are taken to protect the exercise of our rights. And we are engaged fully in that participation to do that on the behalf of our people. So we have a right to promote and develop our systems and media of communication, including our own radio and television programs. And check this out, and to have equal access to all other means of communication and information. And states shall take measures to promote the broadcast of radio and television programs in our languages, particularly in areas where our people are present. States shall support and facilitate the creation of our radio and television stations, meaning there's grants and stuff for this stuff, people. So tons of money for this stuff, as well as other means of information and communication. So once you're in the know, a lot of things become available that you didn't know about. And if we go over here, our people, in exercising our right to self-determination, have the right to autonomy or self-government in matters relating to our internal and local affairs as ways and means for financing our autonomous functions. You see that? You don't need them for nothing. Understand.
Kota, you still there?
Yes, I am. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, I
Check
just
one,
heard
two.
you now. Yes.
Yes. So Article 5 of the United Nations Declaration states, our people have the right to maintain and strengthen our distinct political, legal, economic, social, and cultural institutions, just like the American counterpart, while retaining our right to participate fully if you choose to do so, which there's every reason why you shouldn't, but if you choose to do so, the political, economic, and social cultural life of the state. That's the caveat right there, just to let y'all know. That's the clincher. They free you, then they put you in the frying pan, right? They free you and put you in the frying pan because it says if they so choose. Look at the word that's used. If you choose. But if you choose that, you choose to give up this right. Can you understand? You guys understand that? In America, if you choose to give up your nation, you choose to be a citizen of the, it says you choose to live, to engage in the political, I mean you come under their laws, their money, their social construct, and the cultural life of the what?
State.
Understand, you can't play ball in both arenas. So even this document saying make a choice. They didn't say and. They said or if you so choose, right? If they so choose. If in one hand and crap in the other, which one gonna fill up quicker? Right. So if and then choose right there. Meaning the choice, meaning you can't have both. It's either left or right. A choice. But you can't have both. In the States, you cannot have both. In the international document. It's so simple. If you read fast, you'd miss it. You get a different interpretation. But that ain't the interpretation. If you make a choice to invest in the political, economic, and social cultural life of the state, then none of this applies to you because you in a arena. You feel me? And you don't have the right to maintain no more because now, if you so choose in the political, economic, cultural life of the state, right? So you retain your right to participate fully if you so choose. It says while retaining their right to participate fully if you so choose. Right? Two different sets of rights. One is the right to maintain and strengthen. The other one is the right to fully participate if you so choose. Can you dig it? Nonetheless, every indigenous individual has the right to a nationality if you so choose. You don't have to so choose. You could just come back home and leave nationality alone because what does nationality mean, people? What does nationality mean? Somebody read that highlighted section. Nationality. In those quotes.
Belonging to or being a citizen of a particular state. Excuse
Boom.
me, my brother.
Yes.
I heard you, but I was gone.
It's all right, sister. Appreciate that. So definitely you could choose this nationality thing if you so choose, just like choosing in the life of the state. If you so choose, understand it's all if you so choose.